What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes. Two Dude Wolfpack, what's going on? I am Mr. MWO, and with me, as always, is the producer with the juicer. That I'm assuming you have a juicer. Yeah. There you go. You
have a juicer, yes, sir.
I got it right.
I need to use it more.
Shooting star prep. Well, when you come visit me in Cali, you know California is all about the juicing. So we're all about that healthy lifestyle. So yeah, that's what we do. We just walk around in bikinis with celebrities. So when you come down, bring your Speedo, be ready to hang out with Tom Cruise and other celebrities, because that's all I do out here in California.
I hope they're ready for us. That's the thing. Are they ready for the two dudes with attitudes?
I don't think so, man. I don't think SoFi's ready. I don't think crypto.com arena / whatever is ready for us. I don't think anything's ready for us.
Kia Forum for NXT. Yeah.
It's not the Kia Forum.
It's not.
It's crypto. It's all at the crypto. Yeah.
Oh, I thought for some reason NXT was at the same place that Dynamite was.
No. Crypto. It's crypto. Or maybe I'm wrong. I got the tickets right. I'll look.
Yeah,
I'll make sure to check that before we go.
Because I thought NXT was at the smaller of the venues, and then Raw's at Crypto, and
I thought they were all at. Oh man,
you might be right. Yeah,
but that would make more sense, because I was already thinking that we have to be there by like 9:30 a.m. our time, and then bone out down like. I mean, it's not that far, but it's probably like 35-40 minutes, or maybe less, depending on traffic, to get to Mania. So it's gonna be. We should just have a casual conversation while we're doing our podcast. Why not, right?
Let's figure out. Let's plan our whole trip.
Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking that we should but I already have the trip planned, dude. Wrestling, drinking, and wrestling, not sleeping. You're in for some fun. But really quick, it is AEW Friday, Thursday special edition, and I wanted to say it is March 16th. So happy Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. Look at this. I know it's AEW, but so in honor of him, I know it's 11:11 my time, so it's okay. I'm not bad. 11:11's okay. We'll pretend I'm on vacation mode. 5 o'clock somewhere. Austin 316. But I'm going to have a little bit of a Stone Cold Steve Austin brewski as well. That's his brand new double IPA, Broken Skull, out here in Cali. I'm going to have some when you get here, because I don't know how much beer you drink, but they have different versions. But you at least need to try some Stone Cold, because I don't think they have them out in the Carolinas. I don't know how far El Segundo goes, but but maybe he'll be out here. I've been wanting to go to El Segundo Brewery. I don't know how much time we'll have in between all these events, but how cool would it be to see him? He's there all the time, supposedly. So
I'd love that. He could be the first guest on Two Dudes with Attitudes.
Imagine that. We just start recording it.
Just start recording him at the brewery.
At the bar, just start going. No.
Yeah. Hey, Barkeep.
Hey, Barkeep.
What?
Yeah. What? Yeah, that'll be awesome. I think we should do that. So yeah, before we get AEW started, and they had a great week. Cheers to Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the man who kind of saved us, kept us in it. I mean, I know he had to defeat the greatest of all time, my wrestling hero, HBK, to kind of get there. But what's that?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. But and maybe we'll see him this year. They keep saying he might be wrestling. They just rumor just had it that he was supposed to wrestle Brock Lesnar. Wink, wink, wink. And that fell through at the last second. I don't know. Maybe Stone Cold didn't. He's like, no, he's not in my league still. But I don't know why. But
he walked out again.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here.
It's like I'm just not wrestling him. Get it out of your heads. He's not wrestling Brock Lesnar.
The funny thing is that honestly though, Stone Cold's whole thing is his neck. Why the heck would he want to wrestle a guy who's going to take him to Suplex City? And I know Brock is safe, but that just seems like an accident waiting to happen. I would have not jumped on board with that either. So I'd have been like, no thanks. I'll wrestle Kevin Owens again. So yeah, well, let's get AEW started. You ready?
I am.
You
Let's
ready?
do this.
All right. What? All right. So I'm just gonna say what to everything you say for the rest of the time. All right. So Rampage was a good episode again. A good episode again. And this time they actually had they did what, like 4 matches, and then they had a bunch of little promos in between trying to set up things. I'm actually gonna start off with something interesting with the last thing that happened on Rampage. They have an official name now, an official color, the official new faction of AEW, the Outcasts. And I have to say, I know we were kind of been like meh about it. All they're doing is the NWO thing, and I wanted Britt Baker, and I still think Britt Baker can join. Don't get it twisted. That title can still change hands one day with her betraying and having an AEW original as the leader of the Outcasts. But I gotta say, I like it because for one, all 3 girls can go. So Rhea used to be able to go. Hopefully she still can. Hopefully she's wrestling behind the scenes or whatever and getting in shape. I'm very happy that Ruby Soho's doing something because she was wasted in WWE, whether we like her or not, and she was getting really wasted in AEW. And Toni Storm, I like that she's bringing up the fact that she was just an interim champion, even though she was the real champion. And the person who beat her got to become the real champion, which makes no sense. So I'm glad they all have like beef and reasons to want to have this crew. But my main thing of what I enjoy about this crew is that this is AEW's weakest division. And even when the women came out, like on Dynamite, they had their thing and all these women came out and I barely even know half of them. Like I've heard of them, but it's not like I'm like, oh, like the biggest one's Riho. And she's kind of like, whatever, in my opinion. So I do like this. I think this is bringing life to the women's division. Them being on Rampage and Dynamite every single week is bringing some women out. I like that Britt Baker is still here and with Jamie Hayter and they're doing their thing. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I like what they're doing. I hope they continue to do it. And I hope they push the Outcast better than they've push some other things that they've kind of brought into the fold and kind of given up on. So I think the women's division has a light, and maybe if they start branching off and wrestling other people, maybe they can make some of these other women, a little bit more popular or more, to light for us hardcore AEW fans. So what's say?
Yeah. No, I do agree. I think it is breathing some life into the women's division. It's been a much needed spark, I think, and I think it's been beneficial for all the females involved, and I think it's only getting better as the story. At first I was kind of down on it. I thought it was NWO light with the spray painting of the L on everybody. I was just like, okay, nobody spray paints anymore. Nobody defaces things with spray paint. It's all, people get keyed now, but nothing gets spray painted. But I don't know. I do like this. I think it's a good thing for the women's division. I would like to see more originals against the Outcast. I don't want to just see it be Britt Baker and Riho and Jamie Hayter. I'd love to see Jade Cargill get involved. I'd love to see bring back Serena Deeb. Some of these top females that are AEW originals that have been there from the beginning. Jade Cargill's only been in AEW and she's undefeated. Imagine if she stood tall with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter against this group. I think the sky's the limit with what they can do. And now they have Tara Valkyrie in there now in AEW. And I think she could be a good person to go against these Outcasts as well. So I like the name. I like the faction. I kind of wanted to just stay 3 people. I don't really want it to get any bigger because then you run the risks of having too many cooks in the kitchen. You have too many mouths to feed. Somebody's going to job. Somebody's going to be the champion. And then I don't want it to become the next NWO or Aces and Eights where it just got way too big and you couldn't really tell who was who anymore. But maybe 1 or 2 more people join and call it good. But yeah, I'd love to see a 10 woman tag or 8 woman tag at the next pay-per-view with this Outcast faction against some AEW originals. And I think it's kind of touching the thing that fans are talking about as well. Fans are always saying that all AEW is ex-WWE people. So I kind of like that they're tapping into that and building that into a story and making that an angle within the company. And I like that they're doing it with the women instead of with the men.
I agree. Great take. And I like the Serena Deeb drop because I love Serena Deeb. So I would love to see her back. I'm sure all these women too are wrestling on the, what are these shows called? B-roll. I'm so confused. Is it Friday? It is B-roll. What the heck are you doing, bro? The weekend is here, dude.
It's Friday in Australia.
Yeah, I wouldn't be having a Stone Cold beer on March 16th if it wasn't a Friday. B-roll also says they just need to ditch the spray paint. I agree because they're not doing much with it. Like, I'd understand if they were putting like an O on them for Outcast, or like when she sprayed Homegirl on Rampage, it even looked like they like got in her face. Poor Riho was like, it looked like they were just spraying like randomly. They're just spraying them to spray them. Like, you got like the NWO wrote NWO, or they did like the yellow like spine, or like they had meaning. Like, it looks like they're just like, I don't know. I don't think I'd be happy with getting spray. I'm sure that takes a while to get off you. I don't think I'd want to be spray painted just for giggles. I think I'd want at least a purpose, but like at least Outcast or Out or a O or just something. Yeah. Just maybe they need a logo, but I'm digging them. If they made a shirt, I'd probably buy it. I think they're cool. But I agree with you. I think we need some more originals, and maybe they have that at the next pay-per-view and have them win and come out victorious.
Yeah. And like B-roll said, Serena Deeb would be an Outcast. Or would she? I think because she's been with AEW since day one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in the WWE, and she was in the Straight Edge Society with Punk and Luke Gallows and those guys. And she was a bombshell with short hair as well as long hair. But yeah, I mean, I think her angle, if they had brought her into it, it would have made more sense for her to be torn more so than Ruby Soho, because Ruby Soho wasn't with AEW since day one. So the fact that she was so torn about which way she was going to go kind of didn't really make a lot of sense. But I think Serena Deeb would be a good addition for sure.
I agree. All right. Anything on Rampage touched your fancy?
Oh, the Acclaimed. Let's talk about the former tag team champions, the Acclaimed. And, all the Max Caster cut another awesome freestyle. I thought it was great. But I don't know how I feel about the Jericho Appreciation Society trying to recruit Daddy Ass and Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. I don't know what the end goal there is. But I'm also torn because I do agree with them that they are kind of sports entertainment-y, so they would make sense in the Jericho Appreciation Society. But at the same time, I kind of want them to just do their own thing and not risk joining yet another group or worry about Daddy Ass turning on them or joining another fact or, getting their backs turned on them or losing to the Jericho Appreciation Society. So these are all things that I'm concerned about with this angle. And then as we saw on Dynamite, there's no talk about it at all as par for the course with Rampage and Dynamite.
Well, I think they had the Jericho guys talk about that they're going to prove a point or something. They're wrestling on Rampage this Friday, which is airing sometime after the NCAA tournament ends. So probably around 1:00 in the morning your time. So it'll be perfect time for you to watch it. But basically, I agree with you. I don't know what they're doing with the Acclaimed. I really thought they had a plan when they took the belts away from them. I thought they actually had okay, we're going this way or we're going that way, or we're going to I don't think they know what the heck they're doing with them. So I don't think and the thing that I don't like about them trying to promote the Jericho Appreciation Society or join them is that the Acclaimed have already said no. Like, they were literally like, when they were talking to them in the ring, they were literally doing like the stinky face and like the no, I don't want grumble. There was no maybe, or Daddy Ass being like, don't do it, guys, or there's like no, like, where are we going? Like, usually when you're trying to get someone in a crew, they're not telling you no right away per se, unless there's I don't know. And the Acclaim's not going to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. They are sports entertainers 100%, but they're not doing that. And I think it's just going to lead to them wrestling each other. But is that really what we need the Acclaim to do right now? I mean, you took the belts off. They're still like the hottest act. Rampage, the rap, their cheers, they're still the hottest act in AEW, and they are literally being wasted. Once again, I don't know what they did. I think them and Wardlow both pissed their shit and, excuse my language, pooped or peed and Tony Khan's coffee, or did a prank on him, or gave him a wedgie, or put his head in the toilet. I don't know what they did to him, but they're on the list. So they just made the list.
Yeah, they just made the list.
I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm lost with the Acclaim. I don't know.
It feels like such a waste. And then there's no FTR. The Guns weren't anywhere to be seen. So
yeah,
I don't know what the heck they're doing with the tag division, and yeah, it just feels they never should have taken those titles off of those guys for sure.
Especially if you didn't have a plan. That's the problem. And everyone was like, don't worry, they have a plan. Stop hating on the decision, but my boy TK.
But what's the plan?
Yeah. And they didn't have a plan. Their plan was Danhausen to, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's go to Dynamite. And Dynamite, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Drum roll. I don't know if you can hear it. The two dudes didn't hate Dynamite.
No, we didn't. Whoop, yeah. Whoop. Dynamite was actually really good this week.
That's not guns. That's me popping poppers. I live in California. We don't have guns here. Anyway, so we don't have guns here. We literally like have NWA like in the like. I don't know, like we have like LA. We had Tupac. I'm like, here in California, look, we hug and sing and we eat our veggies. I don't know. Have no one ever been to California? I'm assuming none of you have ever been. You only see what you see. Like I said, we're all super rich and we sing Kumbaya and hang out with celebrities and supermodels. I just came back from a pool party, so it was awesome.
Straight out of Compton.
Yes, and that's what else I do. I wear my Dickies and West Side, coulda gang. But anyway, I want to talk about the opening segment of Dynamite. Yes. I want to say that I asked you a question last week in our segment. In our segment, I asked you, and I said, how would you like if I gave you two scenarios, and one of them was the four pillars having the next title shot. And holy cow, did I call that? It literally just like happened instantly. What does B-roll say before I jump in? Yeah, this was the best start to finish Dynamite in a while. 100% it was.
Yes, it was.
And the ending was awesome, and this beginning was awesome, and I loved it. Now, MJF didn't need to do much, so that's good. I was talking to my boy over here, Shooting Star Press, before we jumped on air. Look at, I didn't say off the record, before we got on air, and talked about how I always feel so bad for the last girl to enter, or the last girl to kiss MJF, because she always has to like play tonsil hockey with them. And maybe they want that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe MJF's an attractive dude, but I don't know. It's always like a sloppy one. It's like a Sammy Guevara and his old wife. Are they still married? They made a joke about it. Yeah, they're still married, right? Probably, yeah, I think that was just a joke. But anyway, she hasn't been on TV for a while. So then when they made that reference, I thought it was kind of weird. But anyway, we can get into that. So basically, MJF comes out and he's having a bar mitzvah. So he gets lifted in the chair. They do their dance. They're singing their thing. And out comes Jungle Boy. Oh. He walks out. Then out comes Sammy Guevara. And then out comes Darby Allin. And they all stand in a corner. And I freaking loved it. For all of you that don't know who are listening, there has been a thing with AEW where they have talked about the four pillars of AEW, meaning the four originals are the four people who are homegrown, who have helped hold the company together, right? A pillar. And those four pillars are those four gentlemen. Now, people have tried to add in others. I mean, I've talked about the Acclaimed, and people have talked about Dr. Britt Baker, and I'm sure there's even more than that. That people think are the pillars, but these have always been the four pillars. They have a shirt, although they do have one without MJF, and they've added Britt Baker, but that was during, forgot who that was. Was that Jarrett? Was it Punk?
It was who said Punk
that? Yeah. I'm surprised I don't have that pillar shirt. But anyway, it was a cool moment, and basically they passed around. MJ, they all did their case. Jungle Boy talked about his past and what he's had to struggle through in AEW. Sammy Guevara did, Darby did, and then MJF basically blew them off. Talked about how he's the biggest thing. I didn't like that once again, there was more WWE references. I'm pretty sure, did somebody talk about Batista? I swear I heard somebody.
Yeah, the QTV.
Oh, that was later on. Okay. This was the one where.
Yeah, this was Powerhouse Hobbs segment talked about.
That's Batista. Okay. I'm going to discuss that too, because I was very caught off by that. But they brought up the MJF brought up
Brett and Sean
to get the heat, for Canada, which is fine with me. But it's always, I feel like we're always going back to WWE. But I thought it was awesome. For one, for fans who don't know a lot about the pillars, that was a great introduction. You did their backstory really quickly. You got to hear what they want. They're all on winning streaks right now. They're all hot right now. It didn't lead to they are gonna fight for the title, but they all said it at the same time, which was cute. I think this is the way to go. I thought the fact that they all did it right on time. I'm always impressed with things in wrestling because this is live. You get one shot. The fact it's not like they were like 1, 2, 3. Like they just did it all at the same time. Even MJF was kind of like, all right, that was cute, guys. Good job. But I thought it was great. And then having Jungle Boy hit MJF and then throw him into the cake. I mean, it was awesome. Darby, when he took his hat off and he's like, oh, geez, you look awful. It was just good stuff. Who does not want a 4-way between the pillars at the next pay-per-view? That is money. We were talking about before we started that there's nobody really ready for MJF right now, singles. You don't want him to beat, Ricky Starks again. You don't want him to face Wardlow. He's with Hobbs. You don't want him to face Adam Cole already. Like, Adam Cole needs to come in when he's ready to win and beat MJF. B-Roll wants MJF's hat. Dude, the Blueberry, it's like does he get them made or is he just finding these things? Like, I don't think they have that hat. It 100% was. But it was perfectly well done. It was fantastic. I think this is the spark that MJF's title reign needs. And I just hope, because you can go so many paths. Now you have 4 people doing it. You can have them going all different ways and leading to this, and they can all take turns, and then we get the 4-way. So many stories we can go with this. And for people saying this isn't a story, bro, this is long-term storytelling. We've been talking about these pillars forever. Yes. I was making TikToks when I started in the summer, and we were talking about, like, who do you think your 4 pillars are? And this has always been a thing. So I'm all for it. What say you?
I love this. This is probably the best AEW segment I've seen in a long time. It was from start to finish. It was great. It was, I love that I feel like everybody had good, solid, valid points. Even MJF, they were bringing up the fact that that MJF has had everything handed to him in his run, and he hasn't had to earn anything. He's never been on Elevation. He's never been on Dark. He's never been on Rampage. But then he also flipped the script and said, I've done everything on my own. I haven't had Jericho. I haven't had Sting. I haven't had Christian Cage in my corner. Daddy referenced the daddy daycare stuff. And, he had a valid argument there too. So I'm actually, I thought all of them were impressive on the mic. I thought this was, I've never been a fan of Darby Allin's promos, but I thought he brought it. He raised some good points about, if I don't get what I want, I'm just going to complain about it on Twitter. And you could tell they were all speaking from the heart. They were speaking. It was one of those unscripted promos, but they all, they didn't go way too crazy with it, and they all got to speak their part and speak from their heart. And they all held their own against the best promo guy in the business right now, MJF. And
did you hear them try to chant Wardlow when he was talking about that? I was like, bro, he carried Wardlow. Wardlow didn't carry him, fans.
Yeah. It was, but all of it was great. I thought it was all great. And I am curious, does this lead to a 4-way, or does it lead to a number of singles matches? MJF versus Guevara, MJF versus Jungle Boy, MJF versus Darby Allin.
Didn't think that. Yeah.
Is it going to be a fatal 4-way? There's so many ways that this story can go. I'm sure they're all going to have to earn their way to MJF's championship. But they're all going to have to win matches. They're all going to have to do their thing. What does this mean for Sammy Guevara and the Jericho Appreciation Society if he's if he's focusing on the world title? Does Jericho become a little jealous that Sammy's getting some shine? So I think there's a lot of cool things that this story can go, and I'm here for it. And does this MJF? He always has a trick up his sleeve. Does he always bring? Does he bring Luchasaurus back to take out Jungle Boy, or he put a bounty and pay Luchasaurus to break Jungle Boy's arm like he did with Brian Cage and Bryan Danielson? I don't know. There's so many different avenues to go down that I think this could this is going to be good. This is going to be good stuff.
If we get another MJF making these 3 earn their 4-way title match, I'm done with AEW. I will literally walk out if we have MJF go, well, I have 3 months till Double or Nothing, so y'all need to earn it.
I don't think it'll be that he's going to make them earn it. I think we're just going to see them go on runs to, they're going to have, they're not going to, I don't think they should lose any matches between now and this title match. I think this, on later on in the night in the House of Black match, which we'll talk about, the Elite and Jericho Appreciation Society, it was Daniel Garcia that took the pinfall in that loss for Jericho Appreciation Society. So that was smart not to have Sammy Guevara take that L. So I think we're going to start seeing these guys go on some runs solo, and I think it's going to lead to them. All of them are going to try to one up each other, I think, to try to get that title match, and then it's going to lead to a fatal 4-way.
Yeah. Yeah, and before you jump into your segment, it was just overall good. They had the goods, they had their bads. B-roll saying, I love that they brought the highs and lows of each one of the pillars. They did, and they talked about how great they were. And I love that, one of the cool things I liked about Sammy Guevara's one, because, Darby had a good one, although he talked about film school, like nothing about wrestling of getting in. I was like, boring. But like Jungle Boy trying to move up and what he's done and all this stuff. But Sammy's, acknowledging, oh, there you go. Sammy's backstage drama for sure. And about how he was brought in just to be like the flashy Chris Jericho, take the pins, take the dives, and he became so much more, and he's a 3-time champion. I liked it all. And I did like, I think it was Jungle Boy who's the one who's talked about the, I fought on all these weak shows and you've never done anything, but you haven't even been on a rampage, which I wonder if that's true or not. He's never been on a rampage ever. MJF's never been on a rampage. I don't think he has. Yeah. Like not even a promo. Never. He's never been on Rampage. That's insane to me. Like not even once.
He may have been on like a backstage segment or something.
Yeah, like nothing.
Those are pre-recorded.
Yeah, so
I don't think he's ever been in the ring during Rampage.
That's funny. Good for him. Yeah, he's like The Rock. He's like, I ain't on these. He's like Roman Reigns, dude. Like, I ain't on these B shows. Put me on the.
No, of course not.
I'm not going to be on Heat. But anyway, so what's your first segment? It was a good job. I love that opening. All for it. It got me hyped.
Yeah, I loved it too. And so let's end it with, let's talk about we talked about the beginning. Let's talk about the ending of Dynamite and the House of Black versus the Elite versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and Sammy Guevara. This match was freaking fantastic. This was an awesome match. The crowd was hyped all night long for it. The reactions that both Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho got in Winnipeg, that they were loud. They weren't quite Sami Zayn Montreal loud, but they were still pretty loud.
Different scenarios, but yeah.
They were still very, very loud, and you could tell that they wanted to see these guys, and you could tell that the Kenny Omega, especially, he was like trying not to break character, but he was like smiling a little bit, and he was soaking it in. Chris Jericho was too. He was. All of it was great, and then it kind of gave it a big match feel. I was looking forward to this match all night, and the fact that they gave it to us on Dynamite was pretty cool. And I thought it was a damn good match. I thought it was awesome from start to finish. House of Black retained the Trios Championships, which, despite the fact that they were in Winnipeg, which is the hometown of Chris Jericho and the hometown of Kenny Omega, that was the right call, having House of Black get that victory. They don't need to lose those titles anytime soon. And then at the end, everybody's leaving, and then out comes Jon Moxley and Claudio and Adam Page and Wheeler Yuta, and they're all beating each other down. It's the Blackpool Combat Club, and Hangman Page gets into the ring, and Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio are in the ring, and then the Elite comes in, and now it looks like the Elite and Adam Page are back together, or they at least have each other's back again, which, that's pretty. I mean, I thought that was a pretty well done thing. I mean, I hate it for the Dark Order. Poor Dark Order. They're always getting ditched by Adam Page.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you leave the Dark Order to you go from, it's a significant upgrade.
Yeah.
From where you were before. But no, I thought all of it was great. My only confusion though is, why are these guys I know why the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite are beefing, but wouldn't you think they would want the Trios Championship? Why wouldn't you think they would want to go after the House of Black?
Yeah.
So that was the only thing I was a little confused on, but the crowd seemed to eat it up. The crowd seemed to love it. And I thought it was a solid start and a solid finish to Dynamite. And that's something that we haven't seen in quite a while. Usually Dynamite starts off hot and usually fizzles by the end, or it starts off slow and has a pretty great ending. But this one was start to finish a great episode, and this match was fantastic.
It was, and they did it right too. Like, they would tag when they needed to tag. They disappeared when they needed to disappear. They came back when they needed to come back. I always got to give props to these AEW guys, because these matches are so quick and so fast because they do so much stuff. The fact that they can memorize all this and know where to be at all times is pretty damn impressive. Like, I don't know if all fans understand, but they like script this and run through it before they do it, and they just kind of like bullet point it, and then they just kind of audible it and know when they need to be. But the fact that they can remember it all and get it all, I mean, this is fast-paced stuff. It's not a slow-paced WWE match, you know what I mean?
No.
So Yeah, man, it was good stuff. Something that I liked the end. I think this isn't just more about they didn't want the trios title. I think this is more pushing the trios title. The House of Black, the champs, moved away. These two are ready for that one-on-one. You know what I mean? That like they're ready for their number one contender. Like who's gonna wrestle the House of Black next is kind of how I saw it. Or maybe it's continuing this Moxley and Hangman Page feud. I mean, I don't know how much longer this feud can go on for, but I liked it. I liked seeing it. It was a good pop. The BCC now are full-fledged heels. Obviously, Daniel Bryan's out of the crew. This is them. They are, or Bryan Danielson. They are doing their thing. This is, it felt good. Like I even popped. I was like, dang, okay. And Hangman Page didn't even see the Elite. He was kind of like dumb, like didn't know what was going on, and then kind of turned around and saw them, and then, you know, but I think it's good stuff. We were talking about how we wanted to see the Elite kind of branch off a little bit and do their own things, but I'm all for this. I don't know if they're going to talk about the drama because once again, I don't know all the rumors, but I think Hangman Page had a thing to do with the backstage drama or something like that. But I do appreciate where this is going, and you can sign me up for a BCC versus an Elite trios match any day of the week, with Hangman Page being hung from the cage, or I don't know. You gotta win him. Also, I've never been a Dark Order fan. I'm sorry, everybody out there who love the Dark Order. I know my boy Patrick, who's a huge AEW fan, loves the Dark Order. I can care less about any of them. The one guy who was in the match, they kept talking about how he hasn't been around for a while. I literally had no idea who he was. I'm sorry. Maybe I missed him when he was in the Dark Order, or I thought I was going to be the guy with the short buff arms. Then it wasn't John Silver or whatever. It was this guy. I don't even know who that guy is. He looked good. He wrestled good, but I mean, poor Evil Uno too. They were like, they even said like, they're just teaming up on Evil Uno. I said, well, yeah, look at him. That guy's not a threat. But like, the move on from the Dark Order. The Dark Order is a good like CB level faction. We don't need them with Hangman Page anymore. Hangman Page is above that pay grade.
I like the Dark Order when Brody Lee was there, and then it just kind of feels like they're keeping them around to honor Brody Lee. But I do think it's time that they go their separate ways and maybe break that whole thing up, because really it's not a Dark Order. It doesn't, like, it made sense when Brody Lee was doing it, but now it's just, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to have them around anymore. So I like Adam Page. I like the Elite. I like what they're doing. I think. I'm curious to see which way they go with this. I really am. So
I agree. All right, now we did the beginning and the end. I'm gonna do the middle. Let's start with this middle. All right, I'm gonna go with Hobbs in this QTV promo. So you're gonna have to help me with the Batista thing, because it was like something where I heard it happen and I was like, did they talk about? But so what did they say about Batista before I jump into what I liked and hated about this?
So they talked about They made reference to John Cena, ruthless aggression. They talked about.
I heard that stupidness too. Yeah,
they talked about that, which I didn't really understand. Were they saying Wardlow is just a John Cena modification? I don't know. But then they said that they said that they were talking about his haircut, Wardlow's haircut, and they said his haircut makes him look like Batista, just less good, less better, or something.
That's
like that.
right.
Just not as good, or something like that. And it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, so I couldn't rewind when I was watching it on demand, and I couldn't rewind it. So I was very caught off guard. I was like, huh? Well, hey, look at this guy.
Beef Wellington.
What's up? So it's 3:40 in the morning in Japan. Good thing I can't sleep. My man.
Thanks for tuning in.
We for real have someone from Japan? Hey, what's going on?
Hopefully we don't put you to sleep. But, I also understand if we do.
You're going to sleep. I'm over here drinking a brewski, a Stone Cold Weiser. But anyway, for one, I just want to say this QTV shit was awful. I'm not the biggest fan of all the TVs. Like, I like Miz TV sometimes, but I feel like everybody has their own show. But holy cow, this QTV was it was like a TMZ, but like awful. But I did want to say that I am excited for them to promote Hobbs. And I'm glad that the Hobbs and Wardlow feud is going on. I think it's good stuff. I do want to say though, is why did Hobbs not break into the car?
Yeah, that was odd.
Why would you have Hobbs like be the guy, but he didn't break into the car? It was very, very confusing for me that they didn't have Hobbs be the one breaking into the car. But But I do like that we're going to continue on. So here's the thing with that people forget, right? I know we had Hobbs win the title really quickly and Wardlow should have kept it. But there is one good thing about a babyface losing the belt. The good thing about a babyface losing the belt is that it's always better for the heel to chase the babyface. You don't want a babyface chasing a heel. For multiple reasons. For one, nobody wants the heel to win, right? So the crowd isn't going to be, they're not going to be into the fact that the heel is trying to beat the babyface, trying to catch up, trying to, yada, yada, yada. Everybody wants Wardlow to get the Hobbs comeuppance. That's what they want. They want Wardlow to get his revenge for breaking into their car, for taking the title too soon, for having, QT Marshall interfere and cost them the title and all those other things. They want that moment where Wardlow is going to finally get it, win that belt back, and the world's going to erupt. Here's my fear, okay? Here is my fear. What did I do to Shooting Star Press? He's back. What we already planned this. We knew what was going on. Why do you think I was rambling, Mr. B-roll? So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I hope what I fear is that TK, because he likes to on this belt, he likes to pull the trigger. So don't go too quickly. Build it, let the babyface chase, and have them get there. Have him get Hobbs in a few months, not right away. And this will be done perfectly. It'll build Hobbs up nicely and hopefully give Wardlow back the street cred that he needs. I don't know how much of that you heard. I wasn't sure if you were on mute completely or.
No, I heard all of it. And
okay.
I think you're right. I think this QTV stuff was bad. It was. Do we think that? Let me ask you this: do you think the car break-in was a work, or do you think it really happened and they turned it into a storyline?
So I was trying to see if it was the same car or not. I don't remember him having an SUV. It looked like a regular car in the videos. So yeah. I think it was. I think they're messing. I think it was originally not planned and they just faked it. I think so, because it didn't look like the same car to me, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't focus that hard on these things. So
yeah, and I think so too. I think they turned it into a story, and I like that they did that. I think that's a cool way to do it, to get more heat on Powerhouse Hobbs. But yeah, it should have been Powerhouse Hobbs that broke into the car, and not one of the QT Marshall cronies. I don't even know who that guy is that did it. But yeah, I think that the babyface does need to chase. And I know Tony Khan likes to pull the trigger on this title, and he likes to go the hot potato route with the TNT Championship. But I think let Hobbs. I know we say this all the time. It sounds like a broken record, but let Hobbs hold the belt now for a few months. Let him build some credibility back to the championship. Apparently, on Rampage tomorrow night, he's having an open challenge for the TNT Championship. So be curious to see who that.
Somebody already accepted it.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, okay. It was Homeboy with the mask. Gosh, what's his name? He just wrestled the luchador. He's been wrestling a lot lately. Gosh, I don't know. He just randomly jumped on Dynamite and was like, "I accept," and I was like, "Huh?" Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah,
well, yeah. Let him have some good wins. Let him just build that championship up, and then let Wardlow do his thing on the roster too. Let him power through everybody to get that title back. So, yeah, I didn't dig the segment. I thought the segment was stupid, but I'm digging the Powerhouse Hobbs Wardlow rivalry. I like it a lot more this week than I did last week. And because last week I was just so mad at them for taking that belt off of Wardlow so soon after Revolution. But now I can get behind it. And I think if they do it right, I think it could be done pretty well. And again, it's another story that AEW is attempting to tell. So maybe Tony Khan is listening to the critics out there.
Maybe. And keep Samoa Joe out of it. Make it just Wardlow and Hobbs. Yeah. Have Wardlow chase. And I did like, the only thing I liked about the segment was that Hobbs didn't say much. He was just kind of there as like the beef, the muscle, just sat there and was kind of like, handled his business, didn't say anything. Then he just said his one thing. And that's what they need. Oh, B-roll, Ray Phoenix. There you go. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, AEW fans. I forgot his name. That's for shame too, because he's pretty popular. But yeah, so Ray Phoenix took the challenge. So I'm assuming he'll lose in like 3 minutes. But yeah, so we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then let's talk about Orange Cassidy and that the new international champion Orange Cassidy, or I guess the still internet. I don't know. Is he still international champion? Is he the new
Shazam!
international? Yeah. But I'll say this. I thought that match was good. There were a couple of little minor things in that match that really didn't make any sense to me. Like when Aubrey Edwards came out, and first of all, like she was running like Forrest Gump out there. You know, she came running out.
Same thing.
I was like, get some hurdles for this girl. She's gonna win the Olympics. This girl she's on a roll. She's like, but it was like she
got there before Jarrett was ready. Jarrett wasn't even like set up yet.
No, yeah, she was just hauling ass down there, and yeah, it was like she was like power walking, but also running at the same time. So that was, but it was what was weird was I know Orange Cassidy. He tried to play the lie, cheat, and steal thing from Eddie Guerrero when he pretended to get hit by the guitar from Santam Singh, and then that led to Aubrey Edwards throwing Singh and Sanjay Dutt out of the ring. But all Aubrey Edwards had to do was look at the guitar and see that it was still in one piece, and that obviously nobody got hit with it. So she didn't. I thought that whole ejections part. I thought we could have gone without that.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I thought the match itself was good. I like that. Orange Cassidy. I think he's getting better and better every week. I think he's somebody that AEW can build around. I like this. I think this title makes more sense on Orange Cassidy than it would on a guy like Jeff Jarrett. And yeah, I thought that match was probably the second best match of the night behind the main event.
Yeah, it was you gotta love Orange Cassidy, and he's been killing it and doing his thing. And I like that he swapped the belts before he came in. He kind of took it and put it in. And I think he thought about it. I think it wouldn't fit, so then he just put the other one. I think he wanted to bring them both. I think
he tried to. Yeah, and it was weird. I was wondering, was he going to try to put both of them in there, or was he going to?
It looked like it.
Was he going to take the All Atlantic Championship out and put that on the thing and put the international?
Yeah, he eventually did that. He eventually put the All Atlantic one out there and then brought the international. I like it because I think so many of us fear every single time Jeff Jarrett's in the ring that he's about to win a title. There was even a sign in the crowd. I don't know if you noticed that said Jeff Jarrett will dethrone Roman Reigns. There was literally a sign out there. Yeah. I mean, it just shows, and they did really well with making us believe it. When he got hit with the Golden Globe or whatever they still have in their hands for that, the cops haven't came to get that yet, but they hit him with the Golden Globe. I literally was like, Orange Cassidy just lost his belt. So there was good. It was overall good. I did like too, because I do appreciate that Orange Cassidy has been serious lately. He's been having more serious matches, and this was a nice comedy match. He hasn't been in a comedic match in a while, and it had that feel. And it just shows that Jeff Jarrett maybe isn't as bad as I make him out to be. He did his thing. He helped the match. He went with the comedy. He did everything he needed to do, and still remember, he's only a few weeks into his father passing, and he still hasn't even missed a beat. He's been wrestling every week. So props to him. It was overall another good thing on Dynamite, and Dynamite was a good thing, and the right person won. And I'm excited that Jade Cargill and Orange Cassidy still have these belts. They're the two main title people right now who have held it forever, and I hope they keep holding them. So good for you, Tony Khan, for at least having some people hold some titles.
I was listening to Tony Schiavone. He said that the All Atlantic Championship has only been defended 5 times, but I feel like it's been defended a lot more than that. He mentioned that on commentary. I was like, this is only the 5th time this championship's ever been defended. Or
Orange Cassidy wrestles every week. Yeah,
maybe he meant on international soil. I don't know, but
maybe.
But I was just the way he said it, it kind of came across as this has been more than 5 times.
Maybe on Dynamite.
Maybe
he's been wrestling on Rampage all the time. I don't know. That title's been defended ever since. I think Cassidy missed 2 weeks since he's won it. So unless he wasn't defending it every single time, but I think he is. So
yeah. But I also like the beginning before when Orange Cassidy came out. He did the little awkward fist bump with that fan that was dressed as
Shockmaster.
It was awesome. I was like, this is what is he doing? And then he just he didn't even fist bump.
That's how he high fives. He always does it like that.
He just did that. And I was like, that is awesome. And the fact that guy got some big pop from the crowd too when that happened. I thought that was cool. So
it might have been the real Shockmaster. You don't know. That could have been Tugboat. Yeah. You don't know.
I thought it was at first. I was like, I didn't realize that was Shockmaster. I didn't pick up on that. I was like, that's Juggernaut from X-Men. I was like, what is Juggernaut doing? It's like this guy's dressed like Juggernaut.
Taz didn't get it either because he called him a stormtrooper something, and the guy was, and then somebody else was like, "No, dude, that's Shockmaster." And then Taz was like, "Do you even know who Shockmaster is?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just said it. You're the one who called him a stormtrooper." Anyway, but yeah, man. So that's our review. AEW had a great week, man. I'm very excited for them. They're moving on. They're doing their thing. Yeah, man. I thought it was overall pretty darn good. B-roll said the only thing that would have been better is
let us know.
Well, let's go, B-roll, before we get into our segment. Much better lighting, MWL. I'm a fan. Thank you.
Last week we did 2 back-to-back episodes.
Wait, this is Jay Hughes. This is my friend Jonathan.
Oh, nice. So is he really? I'm assuming he's not in Japan.
Well, he's in he's in the Navy. He's somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Maybe he's. Right. I didn't know he was in Japan right now, my man. I didn't know that's where you were and why his name is Beef Wellington. Oh, right on, my man. Yeah, I've known this guy since high school. Literally, he was my best friend in high school, and I'm 42, so that was a long time ago. I'm glad he's a big fan. Cheers up, man. Cheers up. Come on, Shooting Star. Where are your high school friends listening to our podcast? Get with it.
I know. Where's Zach? Zach, where you at? Get up here.
You know Zach Morris? We were just talking about him.
Of course.
That's awesome. All right. Well, if Shockmaster. Okay.
Yeah. If Shockmaster fell over the rail, that's what B-roll is.
But I don't think as a fan he could have just committed to that. So that would have been funny. Cheers. All right. You ready for segment time?
Let's do it, my man.
Segment time. And we have a brand new segment created once again by our producer, the honorary dude, Mr. Shooting Star. The producer with the juicer. We are doing Report Card this week. And that is where we are going to bring up different situations in AEW that have been going on, and we are going to grade them from I'm assuming we'll do like A+, A minus, B+, B minus, like all the way to F, just like high school. Just like my boy Beef Wellington, high school. So, as always, we start with the most handsome person in the room. So we are going to start with the honorary dude, Shooting Star Press. What is your first question? And we have not gone over these, so we are grading these blindly. That's how we do this on Two Dudes.
Yeah. So let's give me a letter grade for, let's see, what's a good one to choose from? The overall run of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Are you talking day one?
Since they were formed, yeah.
Ooh, since William Regal formed them. That's tough because here's the thing. As you will see on my TikToks, as I shot them earlier, I was wearing a Blackpool Combat Club shirt today, and then I realized it was March 16th, so then I decided to get this shirt on and a beer of Stone Cold. So I am a Blackpool Combat Club fan. This is hard because factions are hard in AEW because they create so many factions and they kind of let them go, and then the leader left, and I'm going to go B minus. B minus, because I do like the Blackpool Combat Club. They had a champion for a really long time. My thing is why I give them a B minus instead of maybe a B plus or an A is the fact that, because they have a lot of champions. I think all of them have been a champion except for Brian Danielson. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been a champion yet. And two of them are still currently ROH champions. The only reason why is because they split up too much. Like when Mox was a champion, he stopped rolling with them. And then when Brian Daniel down since day one-ish, I miss that song so bad.
I love it.
But I'll give them a B minus just because they just haven't been together the entire time. Then they lost their main leader and so on. Right now, though, they're killing it. And I kind of like them now more than I liked them before, because now they feel like kind of like three like renegades who are causing chaos and don't care about anything, and they like to cut themselves. So it's not in that way. I mean, like their foreheads, not like cut themselves, but like, so I dig what they're doing now. But I'm gonna go B minus overall. I was even leaning towards a C plus just because they break up too much. But man, what say you?
I'm gonna give them a C. I don't think.
Okay, so less than me. Yeah.
When they first came, I was excited about it. I love the William Regal aspect of it. I liked the I like that Bryan Danielson and John Moxley had a match to really try to see who could top the other one and bleed the most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then William Regal brought them together. So I like just the two of them. And then the William Regal aspect. But, William Regal's gone. John Moxley stops hanging out with them for a little bit. Claudio we don't see for a while. Wheeler Yuta we don't see for a while. And then we see them on Rampage and they're teaming up, and we don't see Bryan Danielson for a while. We don't know if Bryan Danielson's whole thing with MJF was to get back at MJF for what MJF did to William Regal, but he's also not rolling with the Blackpool Combat Club anymore. That didn't make much sense. And then why didn't the BCC have his back, considering, I understand why John Moxley didn't want to have his back because William Regal betrayed him at what was it, Full Gear last year, but I don't know. I don't like that. I also feel like with the Blackpool Combat Club, they have Wheeler Yuta as he's the Ring of Honor pure champion, but he takes a lot of L's. He takes a lot of pinfall losses because you got to protect Moxley, you got to protect Claudio, you got to protect Danielson whenever they're working together. And so I feel like, again, you can't really have a champion taking a bunch of pinfall losses, but they do. They have Wheeler Yuta being that guy. But I like them now that they're heels. And I think the three with Claudio and Wheeler and John Moxley, I think they could be a good trio. So I'm excited to see where they go. But as far as their overall run, I'm going to give them a C.
All right. Fair enough. All right. You ready for mine?
Yes, sir.
Let me see which one I want to start with. All right. Because we got to go somewhat move in. All right. Let's do this. How would you grade the trios division since the Elite returned? So they started off with that best of 7, and now where we are today.
Yeah, B+. Because honestly, I think the big concern that everybody had when they formed these trios championships was everybody scoffed, and it felt like, oh, they only created this title so that the Elite and the Young Bucks could have a championship. And then I think a lot of people felt that there's not enough trios to compete. But they had I thought the best of 7 series is as drawn out as it was and as long as it was. I thought they, matches 4, 5, 6, and 7 were great. They had different aspects to the match. They added in some stipulations. They made some matches more extreme. So I thought those were good. And then, House of Black winning from the Elite immediately in the Elite's first pay-per-view title defense. House of Black gets the victory, which was the right call. And I think House of Black, I think they're an amazing trio, and I think they can hold the belts for quite a while. And then as we saw on Dynamite this week, the Elite and Jericho Appreciation Society against the House of Black, I thought that was a great match. I thought it was well done. Now you're going to have potentially the Elite against the Blackpool Combat Club feuding for a shot at House of Black potentially. I think it makes people. It adds a little bit of prestige to those championships. It makes people want to fight for them. And so I'm going to say a B+. I think it's been better than I thought it was going to be when they first created these championships.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a notch up again on you. I'm gonna go A-. I thought it's been pretty damn good. I agree. I thought the best of 7 series in the first 4 matches, I was like, ugh. And then they started making them more themed, and it ended well. I was there when it ended, and it was pretty magical. I like what they're doing now since they've had it with the House of Black having the titles, and it does feel important. I was the same as you when they made the trios title. I laughed at it because I was like, how are you going to find 3 people per group, this and that? But AEW has a big enough roster. They can keep going with it. They got Top Flight. They got, JAS. They've had,
Orange
now
Cassidy,
they got Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. They have the Dark Order. They have the Elite. They have, BCC. They have everybody going now. I'm digging it.
You could even, if you wanted to,
I was hoping they were going to go there. Why not give them another championship? So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm digging it. I think it's been fire. So agreed.
Nice. Yeah, it has been. It's been a breath of fresh air, and it's definitely surpassed expectations for sure. All right, let's give. I want a letter grade for our boy Orange Cassidy and his All Atlantic Championship run.
That's good. This is why I'm glad I did 4 instead of 3, because that was one of mine. So we did have the same one. We talked about that. All right. Y'all gonna think I'm being biased, but I'm gonna go an A. Not an A plus. I might do an A plus. I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna go an A. I would go A plus, but I want to have room for improvement. I think it's been amazing. I think this is the best. Should I say this on record? This is on record because this is being recorded. I'm going to say this is the best AEW title run ever, period. Out of championships, tag teams, TNT title reign, everybody. I think this is the best run of it. And I think Jade Cargill's is pretty good, but she doesn't face good enough competition. Orange Cassidy kind of faces everybody. I like it. He wrestles every week. It's kind of like the TV championship. That's how I kind of see this belt, as the actual, back in the days, they had a TV title. And it was defended every week on TV. That was the point of it. They had it in ECW. I'm pretty sure they had it in WCW. But yeah, man, Orange Cassidy is doing his darn thing. The Omega belt collector. B-roll says, I like it. I think he's been doing it. I know he's been on Rampage a lot, but now he's starting to get on Dynamite. He went from comedy to being serious. He sells his match. Look at this match that he just had with Jarrett. He sold that injury so well. He couldn't handle it. Then he ended up getting over. I mean, I think Orange Cassidy has been a breath of fresh air. And it's not only because I said it forever that I wanted him to win the belt and that he deserved a belt, and I got flack for it, and then he finally got it, and he's proven me right. But I'm going to go an A. I don't think anyone could dispute that he is doing at least 90% or better work with this title run.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely been an A. When Pac had the belt, he never defended it. That was always the knock. He was even in the trios match, the trios best of 7 match, holding the All Atlantic Championship, going for another championship. And I'm not a fan. I don't mind when people hold multiple titles, but I don't like it when they focus on only one of those titles. And so felt like Pac never really defended it. I thought Pac was an okay champion, but Orange Cassidy has breathed some light into that championship. He's made it worth fighting for. He's made it. Every match he watches, every match, I'm glued to the screen. I'm watching it. I'm seeing what happens. You know, I thought this week there was going to be Jarrett shenanigans, and he tried to. And Aubrey Edwards was adamant about not letting Jeff Jarrett cheat to win that match. So yeah, I thought all of it. I thought all of it's been great. I think it's been good stuff from Orange Cassidy. I think I agree with you. I'm going to give it an A.
All right. Here we go. What is B-Raw? What I didn't see.
You said Pac that defended it only on Dark
and overseas. Yeah, it wasn't even. I don't even. Yeah. Poor Pac. And whatever happened to him. Anyway, all right. Let's go. How do you grade the current Moxley and Hangman Page feud? It hasn't ended yet. So how are you grading it currently?
Is there an L grade for long? F for forever? No, I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. I think it's proof that, you know, Moxley can do his thing without. He doesn't need the championship to do his thing, and I think it's given Hangman Page something to do without competing for the championship. I think these guys they've been bringing it. They're telling a story. They're telling every match they have, it's a long-term story that they're telling, from the concussion angle to just not liking each other to previous history. I think it's been a solid B, and the fact that it's still going even after the death match they had at Revolution, I think it's. I gotta give Moxley some credit too. I think he should get some credit because he's supposed to be on vacation. He's supposed to have been on vacation for, since the All Out stuff in September. Right after that, he was supposed to be on a vacation for 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks or something. He was supposed to go on a fishing trip with Renee, and that kept getting canceled. And then he was the champion, and then he lost to MJF. And then I'm thinking, okay, now that MJF's the champion, Moxley's going to go away. Nope, they brought in Hangman Page to feud with him, and they've been feuding and going at it, and they're still going at it. So Moxley deserves an A for sticking with AEW and not taking his vacation, and hopefully he gets a sizable one later this year, because he's earned it. But overall, I'm going to give the this program a solid B.
All right, back to back, agreed. I think it's a B as well. I mean, I hated the last match they had because I'm not all for the blood and guts and whatever. But the feud has been good. I like that they're, we're even, and now Hangman took the lead, and now they're still feuding. It's telling a story. I can't hate on it because I complain that AEW doesn't do stories. So
I also like the subtle nuances that they did with like Hangman Page talking to Renee Paquette with the interviews and he was just he didn't want to talk to her. He was, you again. I know you're biased in this, and you're married to this man. Like I like that they brought that in and they tied that into it as well. I thought that was
and he apologized to her. He was like very sincere. It's nice. It's nice. It's like they earn each other's respect, but they still want to kick each other's butts. So I'm all for it. And now who knows where it's going to go because they met in the middle of the ring. So we'll keep going. All right, last ones. Let's do this.
All right, let's do okay. Chris Jericho's entire AEW run.
God, that's hard.
He's the first ever champion.
It's funny. My question is similar. My last question. Okay. Yeah, man. And I know I always say that Omega was the only one with a good title run, but I did like Jericho being the first champion. I think he helped put AEW on the map. I loved him and MJF's feud, and I love seeing him sing with MJF. I still have not forgotten that moment of my life when they sang.
Oh yeah,
the Jericho Appreciation Society, his crew before that.
What were they called? Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle was good. I mean, he's still doing his darn thing. He has pushed people, but he's also like won when he wasn't supposed to. You know what? I'm still gonna do A+. I'm still gonna do it. I think it's been perfect. I think it's hard to hate it. So my friend Patrick, he thinks Jericho's the GOAT. He's thought this before AEW started. He's always been a Jericho-aholic. Always thought, Y2J was the greatest ever, and I laughed at him and said Jericho was barely top 20, if that. I nowadays would rank Jericho higher than John Cena easily. I think Jericho needs to be in the top 10, at least mentioned, for how much he's done. And he's the only wrestler to constantly change his character over and over. And they called him out this week, and he got that pop, and they called him the Ocho. And I was like, geez, how long was he the Wizard for? Like, he has had how many characters in AEW alone, and it works. And he's different every single character. It's not like he's the same person. I got to do A+, man. And he just put over Ricky Stark, so he's still putting people over. And the Inner Circle was created to push people. The Jericho Appreciation Society is to push these people. I'm going to say A+. Sorry, I can get hate, but
I agree.
Let's go. Oh, all right.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think it's an A+. I think a lot of people, they forget what Jericho did in the WWE. He was the guy that put everybody over in the WWE, and he put over Fandango at WrestleMania, for instance. And so this guy, he knows how to put people over. But I think he just got tired of always being that guy to put everybody over and lose. I think you can put people over and still win.
Yep.
And he's proven that in AEW. And I think the opening segment of Dynamite is proof of that. Sammy Guevara has gotten so much better and so much more comfortable on the mic and in the ring. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's been riding with Jericho in both the Inner Circle and in the JAS. And Jericho's put over Action Andretti of all people, and he's had incredible. He put over Ricky Starks twice. Normally Jericho gets one of those wins, but he put over Ricky Starks twice. He was the first ever AEW champion. A lot of people thought when he won the Ring of Honor championship is because they had a TV deal imminent and they wanted him to be the champion on Ring of Honor TV. The man is goated. He always finds a way to keep. Not only does he change his character, but he stays relevant too. And the fact that he can do that at 50 something years old and stay relevant and still put on quality matches. I think that his match quality's gone down since the days of the WWE, but I still think he puts on more quality matches. And I think he bleeds more. He can do extreme matches still. He can still go. So I'm going to give his AEW run as a whole a solid A+.
All right. And yeah, deservingly. All right.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. You ready? Let's do it. Last one.
All right.
Here we go.
How do you grade as a whole, since the beginning to now, the JAS?
Oh, that was on my list too, and I didn't ask. Okay.
It's a little bit different than just Jericho.
Yeah. B-. I think it's a B-. I think they've been an okay faction. I thought the Inner Circle was better. The JAS they don't do it for me. There's two guys in there that I don't even know their names. They're but I also feel like AEW does that on purpose. They focus so much on Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, and Sammy Guevara. It's the other two guys, the guy with the comb who's always combing his hair, and then the other guy that came from 2.0.
It was Slappy Nuts, or what's his name? I don't know what's his.
He's like in their sports in it. So I think it's a B-. I think they're a good group. They're not I don't think they're a great group. I think they've all gotten the Jericho rub, and I think that's helped them significantly. I think they can all put on matches. I was kind of questioning why Jericho had Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara in that trios match and not Jake Hager, when Jake Hager's about the size of Brody King.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a big miss from Jericho, but I don't know. I think all in all, their entire run, I think it's a B-. I think I think the Inner Circle was better. I think that I do like that they brought in the sports entertainment stuff, and they're talking about all the AEW is supposed to be a wrestling company, and here we are talking about sports entertainment. So I feel like that's all kind of a knock at the WWE, but I still think the way that they've done it, they haven't really mentioned the WWE that much. They haven't really taken a lot of shots. So I like how they've done it, but yeah, I think it's a B-. I think it's a B-.
All right, I'm gonna go like a C. We'll go a little bit lower. I like the Jericho Appreciation Society. I still want a shirt. I like their logo. I think it's fire. I like that they were, well, obviously. And I like that they all come out to individual songs too when it's their turn, but still the logo is popping up on the screen.
The JAS is fire.
Yeah, it's always there. I mean, the thing is that there's too many people. There's two girls now that don't even wrestle anymore.
I forgot about the girls too.
I don't even know where they went. Jack Hager, who's talked about, and he has his hat, he never wrestles. It's really just Garcia, Sammy Guevara, him. It just feels like the two guys who were the slap nuts who were like trying to get at the Acclaimed. I always forget their names. They just don't feel important enough. They are getting rubs, and if they weren't in the JAS, I probably had no idea who they were. But they're just they just don't do enough for me to give them anything higher than a C. But I do appreciate them, and I still plan on getting a shirt one day. But yeah, I like the name. I do think the Inner Circle was way better, though, for sure.
Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. Those are
Matt Menard. But what's their nick? They have like nicknames they go by all the time. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the mouth of. I don't know. They have forget what their names are, but.
Yeah, because Jericho and Guevara are the Lasex gods.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know these guys. They're sports entertainment.
Oh, and I forgot Sammy Guevara, who I love, and he's phenomenal. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's something weird. I'm trying to look it up real quick. But no, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been good. It hasn't been great. And the Inner Circle was way better. And
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm all for him. Doesn't mean I hate him, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That was AEW Friday on a Thursday. Bum, bum, bum.
Sir.
Yes, sir. We did it. We finished it. Now we have a 3-day weekend. Let's get it.
Daddy Magic.
That's what it is. Daddy Magic. I don't know why I said slap nuts. Yeah, Daddy Magic. That's right.
And Cool Hand Luke or Cool Hand.
They have cool voices. And he's the one who says like the Jericho Appreciation Society. He's like the opening up. Yeah. But yeah, man. So anyway, yeah, good job AEW this week. We will see you guys back on Wednesday for WWE. I'm sure we're gonna have a ton to talk about because we are inching closer to WrestleMania season. As always. Well, first, happy March 16th, 316 day for all you Stone Cold Steve Austin fans. Cheers to you. As always, I'm Mr. MWO, the dude of Wrestle Talk, and with me is
Mr. Shooting Star Press, the honorary dude. Go check us out on Twitch. Go subscribe here on YouTube. We're almost at 100. We're at 84 last I checked. So want to be at 100 by WrestleMania season. So hit that subscribe button and leave some comments on the videos. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Comment if you agree with us. Don't disagree. Let us know your thoughts. And also rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify as well, because no news is good news. So we think we're doing a great job, and we constantly pat ourselves on the back, but we want to hear from y'all, and we want honest feedback, and that also keeps us in the Apple algorithm as well. It gives us more attention with Apple and Spotify when we get more reviews.
I agree.
Appreciate all the love, and remember, you can go to any podcast you want, but you want to come here because we the dudes.
We are y'all the twos, and we the dudes. Let's go.
That's right.